Good morning to the viewers of the live stream, whether you're watching live or after it saves as a live stream. Welcome to another live stream. We are potentially getting a relief rally. I'm very optimistic. Ethereum had a very nice push right back up. I think that's telling us we are going to get the rally. We saw in this morning's video that people are getting bullish. The bottom is in. And I think, look at this. Look at this guy. Chart's going vertical, baby. Bitcoin flipped the script. Look, he's dirty. Look at him. We're bullish, baby. The Moon Boys are back. The Moon Boys are back. Look at his eyes. The bottom is in, baby. So, just like that, the bulls are back. And I think that's a good sign. I think that's a good sign. This could be our last relief rally. So, how's everybody doing? Welcome to another live stream. We got 1-9, the P1, Denman, Whale Talk, Gumal, Higher Low, Tiamat, Richard Desmond, Crypto Meowsis, Kevin Dillon, Meowsis TCG, Bull Parade. Let's see if Meows's TCG is still uploading. It uploaded 1 hour ago. Oh, this guy's grinding, man. This guy's grinding. Farm Genie. I am very happy with this. I'm starting to get euphoric, boys. Come on, baby. I mean, I simply searched the word Bitcoin. Nothing special. And look at what's popping up. Everybody's bullish, baby. July's massive bounce. Priced out. Short squeeze. The whales are buying. Bull market confirmation. Hold on. The bulls are back, baby. Just when the chat voted, we're not going up. We're going up. So now we're going to need to see the same thing in the other direction. We're going to need, we should make a list. We're going to need higher lows to say I should have bought in. I missed the bottom. We're going to need Chris to say we're going to the moon. We're going to need people to come back saying the bottom is in. But that shouldn't happen until we get up to around 70,000. That shouldn't happen until we get to 70,000. We're also going to use the basic RSI, right? We want to see the RSI come up to this box. If everything is present at the same time, that should do it. That should do it. Right? That should do it. Let me see. Whoa, we got Mixer for 10. I can't believe he's here. Mixer for 10 says, did Mixer came back at the bottom? We will see. I appreciate the 10, man. Are you saying you think the bottom is in? Dude, welcome back. I can't believe you're still here. I can't believe you're still here, man. You remembered me. I can't believe you're actually here. Welcome back. I appreciate the 10, man. Subway, or not Subway, sorry. That's that's who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Subway because Mixer was the original. Well, actually, Mixer was already successful, so he's not necessarily Subway, but he's a young man. Oh, I guess you're old now, right? Because it was 4 years ago. So now you're old. You're 22 now. Holy shit. I can't believe he's back, ladies and gentlemen. You think we can reach 28K? Yeah, I don't think we're going to go that low, but I do think the bottom's not in yet. I actually realized something yesterday, but I really appreciate the 10, man. How are you doing? I realized something yesterday that I wanted to share with you all. Did you know that if you go back to 2022, you actually did make a lower low here? It's just the wick made it a higher low. That's what we're doing here. So I'm thinking we're in here somewhere. and there's going to be one more rally, but this is going to be a nasty crash. It's not going to be small. This is what I'm looking for, man. I think we're going to get it. I don't know if we're going to get up to 74K. I feel like that's kind of high. But the way that YouTube is pumping the market. Oh, this guy says the bottom's not in. Okay. This is why Bitcoin will pump. Is the bear market over? I don't know if we're gonna get up this high. That's my only concern. But we have the green light. Like I said before, Ethereum is about to make the high. There's really nothing left to do. It's just execute. Are we gonna get the rally? YouTube is pumping the market. No one is here. And that's what they want you to think, man. I bet you we get over 110 viewers today. No, probably not. Chat doubted the relief rally. The herd. The herd said we were going to 53K. Look, we do have a double green dot too. I think we're gonna get the green light to go up. I mean, it could be as simple as waiting for a red dot, man. The red dot has been pretty good since May of last year. If we get a red dot, that would be beautiful, but I don't think it's gonna get that high. Maybe even a 20-hour. Yeah, maybe a 20-hour red dot will do. I like what I'm seeing though. I really do, man. Guys, our Moonboy chart. We have officially entered Moonboy chart territory. I think we're gonna start feeling the effects. Don't be shocked if we get teleported up. No, I'm just kidding. No, seriously. If we get teleported up right into our box, that's gotta be it, man. We've had this box drawn for 2 months. If we come up into it somehow, even if we just barely tag it like this. Oh man, that would be a dream come true. I just don't know if it's going to get that high. But now we're going to have to see the bottom callers come in on YouTube. Why am I feeling so positive knowing I'm down 30K? Well, I mean, if you still have some money left, you can get the 30K back. What did I miss? Nothing. We just started. I think we're officially in Moonboy territory. If we count backwards, yeah, I already have it. Look, 42 days prior, we went up. 42 days prior, we went up. This one was 64 days prior we went up. So we're right in that spot though, right now. 38, 36 days. So we could just go up from here. I believe in the Moonboy chart, man. I do. I trust it. If we shoot up like this, you know that shit is bearish, man. It shouldn't. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. I don't know if it's gonna get that high though. It's a tough ask. I don't know if it's gonna get that high. But the corrections out of the Moonboy event are 31%, 41%, 20%. Yeah, this one was 62 days. This one was pretty gnarly as well. 41%. So if we really do go all the way up to 72,000, 41% is all the way down at 43,000, man. I don't know if we're going to get to 70K though. That's the thing. It would be nice if we did. I just don't know if we will. We're going to have to ask our favorite YouTubers. We should get there. How are the shitcoins doing? Oh, nice. SPX had a nice rally. That's good. Solana. So I guess what we want to see is Doge. We want to see the turd coins struggle. Ah, I'm getting excited, man. I'm getting excited. Yeah. I have to stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. We got to see if the MVRV goes up or down. Well, it's going to go up, but we want to see it, like, struggle. We want to see the MVRV struggle. They want to make it easy. But I guess, like I said earlier, if we can get lucky, maybe it's as simple as just getting red dots on the top. Not impossible. Sorry. Yeah, we'd have to bounce 20 to 30% off the low. Oh, that's what this is, though. 73K. Popcats. Oh, Popcats looking good, too. I guess we need to see Chill Guy go up, actually. Right? Chill Guy has corresponded to the tops. Chill guy has corresponded to the tops and marked that. I think we have enough. I don't want to overkill either. You don't want to get confused. I think we can run off of the basics. I think we can get away with the basics. Just wait for the RSI to come up here. Yeah. Yeah, look. We're forming the pattern that we usually form. Look. Oh, sweet corn and baby carrots. They're going to give it to us. No, seriously, look. Guys, come on. This is it. This is it. This has to be it, right? Here it is again. This has to be it. Demon for 2 says, will Shiba get a small bounce? It could. I think if it, I don't know. It's gambling. The garbage pails are not good anymore, man. I think you should. I'm actually glad you pointed that out. We need to see Shiba shit the bed. I don't know if it's going to, because look, in 2025, it had a bounce, but after it made another low. In 2026, it didn't bounce. It stayed below the high from the first move up. So I actually think we should watch Shiba, because if Shiba struggles, it's going to tell us that we're bearish. So I'm glad you asked. I honestly don't know if it's going to get a bounce. I want to say it should, but both prior times it didn't. It just kept going lower. But I appreciate the 2, man. But I wish I could tell you that it is. I'm not so sure that it will. I think if you're already in at any chance of a rally, you cut it. And if you're not in and you're trying to buy in, just let it go. It's not worth the risk, in my opinion. Not financial advice. We are so close to the end of the bear market. At any time, this rally can fail. If we're going to be right, it should continue into July, and the peak should be the first week of August or the last week of July. So if we're at 70K in July, that's probably the top. But I can't tell you that it's going to bounce because when we got that same rally back here at the end of the bear market, the coins didn't go up. If you go back to July of 2022, sorry, 2018, look, dude, this is exactly what the coins are doing now. You see how Bitcoin keeps bouncing, but the rubbish doesn't move? That's what's happening now, man. Dude, I'm telling you, we're getting really close to the end here. I appreciate the two. We got Kiddo for 30 Australian bottle caps. I think that's $20 for me. 20? Yeah, 20. I appreciate that a lot, man. That helps a lot in times of despair. Yash on the Papu chain is migrating to ETH. Load your bags. Look at it on Gecko Terminal. I appreciate the 20, man. It really does help out a lot in times of despair. I'm assuming you're talking about this. Yeah, this coin has been going down since it came out, man. Just be careful. Right? We broke, see? We talked about this in the beginning of the bear market. You were bullish as long as you held the 382. Once you broke the 382, it went straight to hell. So if you want to gamble on this, that's up to you. You are below the 382, which is bearish. Usually a migration might get a pump and then a dump. So if you can sell the beginning of the migration, you should be fine. I would say bullish above 1620. However, a break below 1620 actually signals that this is a potential rising wedge bear flag, and a break below 1620 will trigger a rug. So we're bullish above 1620, we're bearish below. I think if you can get a migration and you get a scam pump, you sell the first day because we're getting ready for in my opinion, for the final crash of the bear market in the next 3 months. And usually the turd coins go to zero during that time. So if you want to get out now or not, it's up to you. A break below 1620 will trigger a capitulation. A move, or as long as we're above 1620, you could continue higher. But it looks like it's gonna stuck. It's stuck, so it's not gonna go anywhere. So if you're lucky enough to get out at the new chain swap, then I would probably get out at that point. Because once the pump ends, it's going all the way to zero, as you can see. The same thing's going to happen again. But I appreciate the 20, man. It helps out a lot. Mexican Mike for 2 says TA on Nest. I appreciate the 2. Look, we're already getting super chats, man. People are already talking about shitcoins. First day of the pump. Dude, it's the same thing every time. Once everyone comes back saying, oh my God, they're going to the moon, that's the top. I would say Nest is bullish as long as you're above 1 cent and 0.9. Once it falls below 0.9, the top is in and it'll come back to 63. A break below 63 will trigger a massive rug. So if you want to remain bullish above 91, you could. Appreciate the 2. Oh, okay. Let's talk for a second. What's going on here? Oh yeah, what about this? We don't want to forget about this indicator either. This is a good indicator. I guess the yellow dot means it's time to get in. Right? Yellow dot. Oh, that's a good one. The yellow dot below the realized price marks the bottom. That's a good one. Yeah, look at that. Not too shabby. How's baby goat? It's done, man. It's going to zero. Yeah, we're getting ready to enter the final stage of the bear market, so maybe, right, if it survives this, you could get another rally at the end of the... You could get something like this. This is my prediction. I think when the bull run starts next spring, this is what's going to happen. We'll leave it here to see how it ages. But I appreciate the 10, man. Oh, just so you guys are aware, if you guys remember who that mixer guy was in the beginning of the stream, that was the guy that gave us the Cutler RSI. That's who I got it from 4 years ago. The young German. Oh, he's German too, Reisenhausen. He's from the Scheishausen. He's from the Scheishausen. Yeah, the DMI still says we're bearish. Yeah, we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. We're almost through. This really should be the last rally. This really should, it should be, right? Did we bounce off that volume moving average? Oh, we went below it. We did go below it. Yeah, so maybe we get stuck at 65K. We did go below it finally. $20? Oh yeah, the 20, sorry. Yeah, it was 20. Thank you for the 20, sir. I think I was saying 10 because it's $10 difference. That's why. Yeah, here's 70K again. I don't know. I think there's too much resistance at 70K. I have a hard time thinking we're going over 70K. It doesn't mean we can't, but there's a lot of resistance at 70,000, like 73, 70. I just don't know if it's going to get up there, but it should. If this is going to be a real rally, it should get up there. Right, so May was 60 days ago. Oh, shit. Yeah, dude, if we get this relief rally, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Sweet corn and baby carrots. Can you loan me 10K to put on Soul? You know, it's funny you asked that. Every time I loan people money, I never get it back. And I've been watching The Sopranos finally, and all of those people have the same answer. They gamble all the money away and then they blame it on you. Like it's your fault that you don't want to help them out of the hole. It's nuts, man. They all have the same attributes. They can't keep the money, they gamble it all away. It's really sick. That made me not feel bad anymore. Because you feel bad for them and then you realize that they all have this, it's like some kind of trait where it's your fault that they don't have any money. It's unbelievable, man. So I can't loan you 10K, unfortunately. I apologize for the inconvenience. But if we can get a relief rally, you might have a chance to make your 10K. If we really get this relief rally off the low, let's go off of this low. And we go to let's go to 70K. That's 18% off the low. That's a $40 IBIT. You lend money a friend and they eventually paid me back. Yeah, if you felt that in your stomach, then you gave them too much money. I got a question for you guys. What do you think, man? So I gave my friend money 12 months ago and he never gave me any money back. And he's been my friend my whole life. Do you think he's still my friend or should I just call it? And the only time he came back was to ask for more money. What do you guys think? You think I should call it? I'm at the point in my life where I don't even care anymore. It's really sad. I lost all my friends. I have like 2 friends left, but it doesn't even bother me. You think I should just tell him that's it? Good luck on your life. Because he's still tweeting and doing his shit, and I didn't get a single dollar back. Talk to him? I already did 4 weeks ago. I said, it's been 11 months. Are you in a better position? And he said he's going to give me some money in a couple weeks. And that was 4 months ago. That was 4 weeks ago. I got nothing. So I guess that's it, right? I just tell him, I wish you the best, man. We had a good run, 20 years, but this is where it ends. It's just such a small amount of money, though. But I guess it's not, it's the principle, you know? It's time to collect. Oh, man. I've been here since you had 5K subs. I appreciate that, man. Oh, looks like we're going back down. I marked the top again. Just when I get excited, the top is in. He could still be your friend, but not. How could you still be friends with somebody that took your money and then disappeared? I can't be friends with somebody that does that. That means in his head he doesn't have to pay me back. But what kind of friend is that? That's like your girlfriend cheats on you and then you're okay with it. Like I can't. I just doesn't sit with me. I can't be friends with someone who owes me money. I could be friends with someone who owes me money, but the fact that he hasn't given me anything in 12 months, not even $10, that means in his head he doesn't have to pay me back. It really doesn't bother me anymore. Like if the money doesn't bother me, but even if I'm not his friend, you know, I tried my best. But if someone's gonna do that, then I guess it burns the bridge automatically. Did I ever hear back from the lady friend that you said no to? I don't even know what you're talking about, my friend. But this is a crypto stream. We're not talking about my personal life. I just brought it up because you guys are my therapists, and I wanted to see what you say. It's not that he doesn't have to pay you back, it's that he's not going to. Yeah, exactly. And it's the idea that you think you don't have to pay me back when you know you have to. That's what's making me think I don't think he's going to pay me back. So how can I be friends with somebody? You know? And then he asks for even more money like a couple months ago. Like, what? So what do I do? Do I just unfollow him and just say nothing? That's what he did to me. He just disappeared. Maybe I just unfollow him and just let it rest. You know why I'm thinking about the money? Because if he gave it back to me right now, I could use it. That's why I'm thinking about it. Dude, if he gave me that money now, I could literally turn it into like 10 grand. That's why it's bothering me. 10 grand's a lot of money, guys. I don't care who you are. That's why I'm looking at it. I'm like, dude, if he gave me this money, I could literally use it. But but I'm not getting it back, so there's no point. I just gave you 20 and I don't owe you. Yeah, I know. That's what it is, man. Like if I owed somebody 2 grand, I would at least give them 50 bucks here and there. Like after 12 months, I guess I'm being naive, right? I'm just thinking to myself, he's been my friend my whole life. So am I gonna throw it away? But I'm not throwing it away. He is. Just make a message and be open to him. I already said that a month ago. I said, are you doing any better? I gave you a lot of time because I understand your situation. And then he said, I'll give you some money in a couple of weeks. And that was a month ago. And I haven't heard a word from him. But he's still tweeting about the NBA. So in my head, he's like, I don't have to pay him shit. Which is fine, right? I'm not going to go to him. I'm not going to do anything over 2 grand. But 2 grand's a lot of money to just burn. You could take a trip to Italy. I'd take a trip to Cryptomyalysis. Yeah, kiddo, I'm gonna have to pass on your comments. I appreciate the inquiry, but I appreciate your inquiry, but I'm not gonna comment on that. That was 2 years ago, almost. Say nothing if he asks for if he asks he lost it all in a parlay. Dude, that's what I'm thinking. Because if I'm in his shoes, I'm never gonna like let's pretend I'm him for a second. I'm never gonna see me again. So why should I pay him back? If he was a real friend, he wouldn't put you in this position. At least let you know he can't pay you back in the near term. Yeah, but dude, it was 12 months ago, guys. I already gave him 12 months. That's a whole year. That's a long time. I did that. I said, take as much time as you need, man. There's no rush. But a year later, come on, man. Then it's going to be 2 years. And by then, I'm not going to need the money. I don't need the money, but it's the idea that it's my money and I need it now. It's my money and I need it now. I think your money's gone. Yeah, everybody thinks my money's gone. We already discussed this a couple months ago, but I think I'm just gonna call it. I'm just gonna say, man, I wish you the best. Maybe I'll say one more. I was like, I'm just gonna say any update. Yeah. I'm gonna say anything, man, any update. And then if he does it again, I'm just gonna tell him it was a good run, man. I wish you the best. I'm tired of being nice to people. 48K 5 years ago, zero back. In that time, I learned Haitians work for cheap. You gave somebody 48 grand? Holy shit. Man, that's rough. The only time I would give someone 50 grand is if they divorced me and I had to pay child support. That's the only way I'll give somebody 50 grand, man. Dang. But it happens, man. You think you trust people and then bam. You need to go off on him like this boy. Nah, it takes a lot for me to get mad. Like for me to get genuinely mad, you really have to I don't think a person is capable of making me mad. I think something in life has to happen to make me mad. That's one thing that I will say. As much as crypto has destroyed my life and kept me in the shadow realm, it's taught me that life can take you into a dark place. And I think a lot of people have never been to that dark place, and I've lived in it. And after 2025, I know how dark it gets. So, in order for me to get angry or upset with a person, I don't think it's possible. it has to be a thing that happens in life. Like a catastrophic event has to occur. I really don't get angry or upset. But I also don't want to pretend to be friends with somebody if we're not friends, which I thought we were, but I guess he's the one that's choosing not to be. I always lend half of what my friend requests. How to learn that skill? I get mad easily. No, I don't learn it. Life beat it into me. But it's not good because it's the same thing with joy. It's harder to feel joy, you know? It's like the shadow realm numbs your emotion, which is not good. If he didn't adhere to your message for 12 months, he ain't listening. Focus on Q4 bottom. Focus on Q4 bottom. Yeah, I'll probably message him again next week, and then if he doesn't say anything, then that's it. Thanks for the feedback, chat. When I told you guys a year ago, you guys all called me an idiot. Well, it's probably all different people now, but you guys all said I'm not getting my money back. And you guys were right. I didn't believe you, but you guys said our money's gone. GG. It's all right. If this ends up playing out, guys, we got a bright future ahead of us. Come on, baby. The reason why I think it's possible is because it did happen in 2018, man. That's how it happened. We had a giant bump and then it went right back down. That's why I think we're prepared. We're already back to maroon. If we can get back to blue and then light blue, I think the candles should be light blue up here. I just don't know for sure that we're getting up there. But I have my chart ready to go. Dude, look at this. I'm telling you, man. We might be right. I showed you this yesterday. And this is my own personal drawing, but I told myself there's two options here. This is option A, which we can see did not happen. And then you have option B. And this was before we broke the low. So I'm prepared for both. I hope we get this one. I really do. Kiddo says, gotta go, put that 20 in the V8 and let it sing. I appreciate the 20, man. Good luck on your fishing trip. Stay safe. There's bacteria in the water now, so be careful from the heat. But I appreciate you stopping by, man. Best of luck. Your picture of the shadow room with everyone trapped and if you get out. Yeah, I remember that. The shipping container. Maybe that's a different one, but I had a shipping container one too. I took a small long of 68K yesterday. I don't know if we're going to get up there. I just think we could. I'm prepared. I want to keep it simple. 60, it's the short-term holder moving average is around 67K. And then the 200-day moving average is around 73K. So we could potentially go in the middle of that. Will you go short if we get 103K? We're not going that high, man. This guy says watch and learn, Wyckoff. Oh, guys, this is such a let me tell you a story. Okay, let me tell you what could go down here. If we get this rally, oh, I already have it drawn. If we get this, then that means that the S&P 500 should get something like this. And that means that the semiconductors should fall by 80%. But the thing is, off of a bear market low, it usually gets a big move. You double your money. Look, you double your money in 2 months. Here, you doubled your money in a month. You know? So if I could get in at 50 bucks, dude. I did realize futures were open today. Yeah, today's not a holiday, it's tomorrow. Yeah, we always bottom below the realized price, man. Get in for 50 and walk out with 100. I mean, it could go back to the all-time high though. That's the thing. Oh, wait, did I? Oh, this is better. This is better actually. Look, the 2-day heat map turns light blue. I don't know if we're going to get that high, but I doubt we'll get that high, but it's not impossible. Because if we're in here, then this should be in the same spot too. I think we got a shot here. We're going to start, well, I can't say I know what's going to happen, but historically, this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Look. This is what people are leaving out. Historically, you spend a decent amount of time below the realized price. So we're going to have to spend a decent amount of time down here. I don't think people are prepared for the bull market to start in February. I don't think people are ready for that. I think they think it's just going to start right away, like it did last time. But I don't think that's going to happen because we already spent 175 days by the time we bottomed. Just like in 2018, you bottomed, but then you stayed down here for a long time. I think that's where we're at. We're going to have to spend time down here. So in this time frame, the play is going to be the S&P and then rotate back into Bitcoin before the rally. It's 2 a.m. All right, man. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate the 20. Good luck on your boat. Historically, is an asset not even that old, and how early was it even relevant? Was trading under 1,000? I don't know what that even means. Yeah, we're really close to our capitulation box. We're freaking very close to our capitulation box, gentlemen. We're really close. So are we all thinking 40K or lower is the bottom? Should start by January at the latest. February is too long. Not if history is going to repeat. If we don't break this moving average until September, then we have to stay down here. The only way it starts in January is if we go down now. We have to go down now. Because every time we go down to the bottom, you spend You spend a lot of time down here. That's the reality. I wish I had a remote control that could fast forward to when I'm rich. I don't. I wish I could go back in time. Dude, we're all getting older. You never want to say fast forward. You ever see the movie Click? That's what we're going through right now. Yeah, if I were a moon boy, I'd be pushing this propaganda too. I would be saying the bottom is in. Look at the tether dominance. I'm looking at this as ultra bearish because when we broke through this, we went straight down. Look at that shit. I think if we're lucky, we get one more bounce and then boom. Yeah, every market cycle, this thing makes a higher high. We didn't make a higher high yet. I'm telling you, this is going to be a nasty trap, gentlemen. Start your engines. The bull tubers are already saying the bottom is in. I've never seen this guy. You guys want to watch this guy's video together? Let's see what he says. Let's watch this guy's video together. Let's see what the other, you know what? Let's see what the other YouTubers are saying, actually. What is this guy saying? This guy's got the beady eyes. I'm going to click on his video and see if there's anything that's on the... Oh. He's gone now. What happened? Okay, let me click on his video.
All right, so it's doomsday.
Let's see. All right, let's see what this guy's got to tell us.
For Bitcoin today, with the MiCA regulation coming in, we also have $1,000 here. If we can break that and then break this descending resistance below this video, guys, what you will notice is the people 20K, 30K, 40K plan. Yeah, extreme fear. Gold up here. This is gold. It doesn't make any sense because that's last time and they only saw good. They want to, yeah, see this. Well, the way I'm about 6K. Yes, it gets. I bought loads of Bitcoin at 58K. Brilliant. That's half the price it was just like trade.
All right, so he's buying at 50K, so he doesn't know if the bottom is down there or if it's up here. So he's playing it smart. He's playing 50-50. He's buying in now and he's telling his viewers it could go lower. So we don't need, that's not helpful to us. What is this guy saying?
Yo fam, happy Monday guys. Okay, so the bigger time frame move. It's like, okay, it's choppy, but the more we zoom to do, and then you ended up allow short-term volatility to shake me out. All right, therefore, if we're starting to, okay, now this trend indicates something for me that couple of plays today, right? The first one was, let's speak this week for the next 7 days and put bigger stuff, a bit more red for me, very much to see if we're going to actually break through 60. Busy building here. Okay, so here's ETH.
Oh, he's got the same thing as I have.
Entries on ETH. Okay,
this guy's got the same exact thing as me.
Entering ETH, big stops under these previous lows. $4. Something to get a break there. That is the long that I want to get. Now, guys, we are looking at any point when the squeeze happens. You're looking at double-digit green day. When it comes to the rest, let's see how the rest of 48 hours. Like, is the signal tomorrow a tight stop loss or something? And we haven't confirmed that yet. We haven't closed below here yet. So for me to switch, we're fully going here, which I'm seeing many traders do. Many are saying 30, 40,000, right? The problem with that is you're going all in. It's gambling. It's literally going all in on one chip to say one thing is going to happen. Therefore, if the other thing happens...
All right, so this guy is not... See, so this is what YouTube does.
Completely sitting on the side and you don't know what to do. And this one can also not be available.
This guy's saying it could go up, it could go down. He's saying we don't know if we're going down there. So that's 2 YouTubers in a row that are telling you to get in now because we don't know if we're going down there. There's very few, there's not as many people as you think that are saying we're actually going down there. Let's see what this guy says.
A fight just broke out on CNBC between Joe Kernan and one of Wall Street's...
It's just an idea.
In camp. No, I know, yes, so is Charlie Munger. But
which is causing havoc for the rest of us in the world. I mean, look at this chart. Joe Kernan is arguing that Bitcoin is sound. You never bet against the future.
Those hit the
Yeah, this guy doesn't even give us anything.
Even says
oh, man. See, this is what I'm talking about. How the hell can people watch this? What does this guy say?
You've landed on the moon show. Right now, I'll show. It is still unconfirmed, but I think we're getting ready to this one confirming. Now, one very important point to look at here is the VPVR. Sorry about that. I at we're like this, and maybe create another a triple bullish divergence and then go up, which is very possible. Or are we going to immediately shoot up, which I think is likelier.
Oh, you heard him. He thinks it's more likely we're going to the moon. You heard him say it here.
Or are we going to immediately shoot up, which I think is likelier.
Okay, so Carl the Moon is bullish. So there's a lot of bullish propaganda, man. There's a lot of bullish propaganda.
Boom shakalaka. Everybody wants to know, is Bitcoin at the bottom yet? And several of the best bottoming indicators are flagging right now. But here's the thing. There is one huge problem that no one is talking about. We're going to get into it. Stay tuned. 4-year rolling realized price risk reward. If you take a look, there are bottoming signals that are going crazy. The first bottoming signal that he's been waiting for years just fired. It's called every cycle low since 2016. Oh my goodness, what is this? And the best part is once you listen to this signal and you actually buy, it'll feel terrible for weeks. Who doesn't want that? If buying here were comfortable, the signal wouldn't exist. Mark the zone, let time do the rest. And it does fall salute. You have the 50-week and the 100-week MA
guys,
right
there's
here.
A lot
Historically, when they...
There's a lot of moon boys still out there.
Cross. When the 100-week MA crossed above the 50-week, look here, 12% down C. Currently, it sits at $48,400. Now, based on my impressive mathematical capability, that's lower than the price is right now. So, based on that, we might have the price continuing. You can see this giant Bitcoin inflows to accumulation addresses in purple right here with this nice star on top. Now, we had this happen 3 times before where we had these giant lines. This, I don't sell in May, go away. It's the same thing every single year. I say it every single.
All right, so this guy's going 50-50, showing you bullish and bearish. See, this when you're a crypto YouTuber, this is what you want to get to. You want to get to the point where you can just show shit and not do anything and still collect the ad revenue. That's what I always wanted to be, but I was never able to get there. So this guy is me in another life. He's more successful than me. He's doing what I want to do. He's just showing you rubbish, which is not rubbish, but he's just showing you a bunch of tweets and then collecting the check.
Single May. And the worst of everything, I wanted you guys, again, story forming. Here's...
Yeah, this guy Tech Dev is always bullish. Dude, there's a lot of moon boys out there still. You guys are saying everyone's bearish. I don't know if that's true.
Crypto ETFs have just flipped in a meaningful way. Could this be a signal that things are about to reverse? At the same time, we have the biggest names in the stock world, the big memory stocks, taking insane dumps yesterday. We also lay at the exact cycle bottom on the FTX crash.
Yeah, see, I want to do this. I want to go on Twitter and steal people's tweets.
On Bitcoin, the most guaranteed to happen. Well, we have a bull. He said if Bitcoin tends not to just, slowly grind up, it has giant, violent repricing. Bull market at that $1,000 bucks, 1,000 big ratios on my. This has been the post-Jensen distribution strategy stock. So it's a closed-end fund. When silver was $120, saying don't fucking buy
crypto to pump again. Retail needs to stop making money elsewhere. It's happening. This guy says crypto is your last opportunity.
Silver, it's crazy.
Dude.
It's, you know, older meme coins. The challenge for it is below these EM.
Guys, I'm sorry, but it looks like people are still bullish. You guys say that nobody's bullish. I just searched the term Bitcoin. I wish you could see it on my screen, but you can't. It's like just cropped out. There's almost nobody bearish. What is this guy saying?
Everyone asks continually, is the bottom in from this pullback? And that's a hard question to answer. You can invert that question. It doesn't guarantee that it will in the future. So they're clouded and they have
rubbish. Yeah, we know blockchain backer is bullish. See, I already talked to you about this chart. This chart, I already explained to you why this chart is wrong. He's ignoring the fact that when it's at the all-time high, that's where it's at its lowest. That's where a lot of people are buying in. And the fact that the distances from the highs are getting closer together means that when more people are buying in closer to the top, they're going to be in loss faster than prior market cycles because the top is getting closer together. So when we fall below the prior all-time high, like we just did, the profit and loss is already on the ceiling. Just like in 2022, you see how when we crossed below the prior all-time high, this indicator reached the top of the mountain? The problem is we were down 77% from that point. Right now, we're only down 53%. But because this indicator is measuring the top or the profit and loss, supply and profit and loss, we're already below the prior all-time high, so it's matching what it has always done. The problem is we're only down 50%. So he's leaving out, or he just doesn't care. That's also possible. He doesn't care that we're only down 50%. But that means that the following bull market is going to be very small, and the next bear market is going to be even smaller than 50%. I don't buy that. That's not happening. This is the only one he's using, if you notice, for Glassnode. You know? I think blockchain, but it's not even just blockchain backer. I just showed you a bunch of guys who are bullish. There's a decent amount of people who are bullish. Let's see, what does this guy say?
Bitcoin dropped over 50% and just went off that first stare and only the largest outflow. Leave the story itself that I keep telling you about. Now, let me explain the mechanism, because a level
this guy might be bearish.
In Bitcoin's history, strongest point, because it hit off the coast of a fire that's already been put out. It's almost eerily, almost perfectly similar. Ben Cohen talked about this in his
Nope, look at what it says. Why 2024, 2025 was 2019.
show too.
So where are
2019 into in the summer of a midterm year, which is historically been used
he's just taking
July and July 10th. My absolute downside and genuine worst case is the high $40,000 range, right where that long-term holder cost.
All right, so he's like a regular guy. Like he's an information guy. Okay, not bad. So he's open to the possibility. I don't know, man. There's a couple of people that are just still bullish.
Good day, everyone. Happy weekend. My name is Adam Livingston, and I am the Bitcoin Wizard. YouTube, subscribe. We can't 300, but what of Bitcoin? And then they just sell, as always. And then some more. It's 3-4-month bear market when priced in gold since December of 2024. The Bitcoin gold ratio is down. One of these indicators of us aren't get in at 40K. I'm not playing that game. I can look to history, look at a bunch of different indicators, and it tells me what I should probably be doing. Anyway, my name is Adam Livingston. I know I'm not, because I'm not an idiot. Trying to time the 6, 12, 24 month, they have all been historically asymmetric. So I'm not saying the bottom is in guaranteed. Not what I'm doing. Not saying that moon happens tomorrow, kids. I'm just saying this is what the Bitcoin opportunity usually looks like when everybody is too traumatized to recognize the opportunity. These are the median 12-month and 24-month returns of Bitcoin with every single one of these indicators throughout history. So when you're asking me, am I waiting for Bitcoin to go lower to buy? No, I'm not, because I'm not an idiot.
So this guy says whoever's not buying now is an idiot. Remember that when we go down to 35,000. Dude, you guys are telling me that everybody's bearish. This guy just called me an idiot.
Not saying that moon happens tomorrow, kids. I'm just saying this is what the Bitcoin opportunity usually looks like when everybody is too traumatized to recognize the opportunity. These are the median 12-month and 24-month returns of Bitcoin with every single one of these indicators throughout history. So when you're asking me, am I waiting for Bitcoin to go lower to buy? No, I'm not, because I'm not an idiot.
Dude, I'm telling you guys, this idea that everybody's bearish is just manufactured propaganda. I really hope we get this relief rally. You know why I'm watching this stuff? Because it's letting me know that the 4-year cycle can repeat, because there's a lot of people that don't believe it. Even Carl the Moon, who's like a billionaire, he believes we're going higher. Now, you might not like Carl, but he's successful and he's got a lot of subs. So, I think we're going to get this. I think this is going to be a trap, man. I think this is going to be a trap. You know what made me respect it? When I realized that the candles are the same as 2022 and 2018. That was when I realized, yo, we might actually bounce here. I know I showed you guys this, but you see how the month is June? And we're right above the realized price with black candles, and then we went down to the bottom. The fact that we stopped made me realize we might actually bounce. Because we're in June again, right above the realized price with black candles. But if you look at 2018, the same thing happened. We're right above the realized price with black candles in June. So if we go like this, a lot of people are going to say the bottom is in. Because look at all the people that are saying the bottom is in now. Or at least pushing bullish propaganda. Not everybody's bullish, but not everybody's bearish. And we always say when everybody's bearish, that's where the bottom is. But not everybody is bearish. Which is why I believe the low is not in, because the 4-year cycle says the low's not in. And I know it's annoying hearing 4-year cycle, 4-year cycle. I get it. I was one of the people too that didn't want to believe it. But why did we top here? If it's not a 4-year cycle, why did we top there? There's no explanation. The S&P 500 is significantly higher. The NASDAQ, the Dow. There's no reason to explain why we topped here other than the 4-year cycle. And the fact that there's this many people saying the bottom could be in, that's why it's going to work again. But now you have heavy hitters saying the bottom could be in. So it's going to be interesting, gentlemen. I wish you the best. I'm not going to say I know for sure, but I can only prepare for what I think is going to happen. And With all the information that we have, there's no evidence to suggest that the bottom is in. Everybody's saying that the whales are buying. I should be able to find that here, right? I mean, I don't know if that helps us because they were buying in 2022 as well as we went down to the bottom. It's like they buy in the bear market. That's the point, no? Yeah, I don't know why. It is what it is. It's YouTube. I'm trying to find that guy's UTXO thing, but I don't have it on here. Maybe it's on this one. Oh yeah, look, see, this website wants you to pay for that shit. Yo, this website is really good. I don't know how long they're going to keep it free for, but all of this stuff is free on here. I think this is the best one I've seen. All the information is all free. Other websites make you pay for it. Even this one here, look. Short-term holder Nuple, long-term holder Nuple. They want you to buy the pro version, but we've been using it. This one's free. I think we're gonna get it. I just have to trust myself. The fact that there's a lot of YouTubers that are still bullish. Look, we're so close to the end. And the thing is, like, we're in the same area where the drop comes from, too. This drop started from 30, then it went down to negative. This drop started from 30, then it went down to negative. This drop started from 20, and then it went down to negative. Right now, we're at 20. I'm pretty sure the next move is the bottom. It's the drop to the bottom. I think that's where we're at, guys. Dude, I'm surprised there's that many people that are bullish. Now, I'm sure there's people that are bearish. They're just not coming up in my feed. What is this guy saying?
I'm expecting higher prices to come on Bitcoin. Yes, we are fearing the drop that you saw, the monthly naked point of control. As you can see here, we ever so slightly front ran it. So we had already looked. We did front $52,000 to $58,000. So we have going to get that long 2.7 towards limit or down here. No, it's ideal. It's not really what you like for me. Is honestly entry trigger, long trade setup to bring you up to target 1, target 2. But what would I be very cautious of? And what you want to talk about is the acceptance. That's a new lower.
All right, so this guy
trace off of the plan. Whether you
this guy's
blog
a trader.
We were trading around at the.
This guy's a trader channel.
Over the last few days, my Q3 outlook, everything unchanged. But I want to address that question, and I think it's very important because I am not a huge fan of one-sided analysis. This is not about being right or wrong. It's about understand first. This is another 1-2 setup.
Right,
last cycle we had the action.
This guy's bearish. Okay. 1 point for the bears. So yeah, I think that's where we're at, gentlemen. You know? And the higher we go, the more people will say that it's bullish. I like what we're getting. I'm just not 100% sure if it's going to get up to 70K. Fear and greed index means more people are still bearish. Yo, Chunky Gorilla, he hasn't been here in a while. I think he only shows up when we're going up. Chunky Gorilla. Chunky Gorilla and Gunga Galunga are like cousins. You know why I think that? Because Gunga Galunga sounds like something that a Chunky Gorilla would say. You're watching all the worst guys? Dude, it's not my fault that this is what YouTube gives me. I searched Bitcoin and I hit search. And Mr. Cowan pops up. This guy's always bullish, dude.
Go lower. Here's 50-week move right at the confluence of.
Dude, this guy's always bullish, man. I like this guy though. Look at how handsome he is. He'll take your wife if you're not looking. Look at his dreamy eyes.
Here's 50-week moving. Then it's kind of like raising the eyebrow as the 50 pulls into wherever.
Bullish, man. What is this guy saying?
Hey guys, what's going on? Aaron here. Welcome to US Money Create. Maybe what happened to Miller. You can buy on this really quick.
Into existence in the heels of the.
A lot of people are patterned in Bitcoin, and somebody already asked Grok, what does this mean if he's right? Highs. I feel on chain is still happening. No, hold on. We are seeing. People have said, well, gold.
Come on, man. This guy's not even giving us
surprised
anything.
If we see a drop down to the low 50s. Wouldn't shock me one bit at this point.
G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. It is Jason Pizzino with the current cycle for Bitcoin in bull market. So looking for that low to finally come in and then we rally higher. So where could Bitcoin rally to in this period for July? Because we're talking about Q3 short term, because you know what that is now. The July, and you can cough and so on. Anyway, we're in, but we're above the 200 down for about 8 to 9 quarter. Gains as you go, right? So higher, of course. We'll see low topped, Meta topped just before it, and then Bitcoin topped our bases. The price.
I think this guy's bearish.
Yesterday it hit 60 breakout. That's what we need to see. Is also doing what it does around these low prices. There was just a little bit of extra time there, plus extra volume. Bear market cycle low that confirmed we were prior bear market cycle. I like that in the title because, it's been a while since we've been able to talk anything extremely positive about Bitcoin. Although this isn't extremely positive, there are some good signs at the moment. And what we want to look at, market low to...
See, my thing is, if you can't get what the guy's trying to say by skipping, then it's not going to help. Like, let me see what my videos sound like. I feel like if you skip through my videos, you could skip through it and still gather the information. The 4-year cycle is invalid. And even I, back in the past, so I'm going to do the same thing I always do. I skip the question is, well, what happens now? And I personally do think still there is a chance we get this rally. Doesn't have to happen, but I think we might be getting it. We've talked about this for the last green, which we're about to. You can see that a relief rally had but see, you see how I'm actually showing you something? When we did get that green MACD. I feel like the guys I'm skipping through are just like talking, and I am very confident, at least in my... nobody draws anything either. My opinion, right? I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, obviously worth pointing out, but I do think even if we get the relief rally, one of the two should follow where, we just crashed. It even happened in 20, but I know that's when I will start saying, okay, I'm not bearish anymore. Say, oh, well, it's making lower highs every time. and it might not go down there. No, that's actually more of an argument to make for the bears because it's making a lower high every time. Long-term Newpol, and they'll on to the negative. Once we fall below 49,000, we can start arguing for a bottom beginning of the end of the bear market. That's so we'll obviously have to wait for it to play out until we get their answer. But I'm just trying to warn you that there's a lot of bottom callers, and there's no evidence to suggest that we get big personally direction. But like, you see how I can skip through it and kind of like I can kind of get the gist of what I'm saying without having to watch the whole video. Like with this, you could say, okay, we need to get down to red, and then you watch for a little bit and you say, are we red now? Say, oh, well, it's making lower highs every time and it might not go down there. No, that's actually more of an argument to make for the bears because it's making a lower high every time and it keeps coming back down here, which means the bull markets are getting weaker. All right, so that's it. I could see in my eyes, it's not red. I don't have to watch anymore. Skip. And you can see that every time we've come below this price, it was July, June of 2022. We have November of 2018, and we have December. Right. So every market cycle, we go below the moving average. Skip. I don't have to watch anymore. Are we going to get that relief rally, or are we actually going down? And I still have faith that there's going to be a relief rally here. All right. So this guy's bullish. This guy thinks there's a relief rally. So by the way that I'm talking, you could see that I think we're bullish in the short term, but the bottom's not in yet. When I watch these other guys, I have to freaking watch the whole video just to see what they think, because they're giving me a bunch of rubbish.
The Bitcoin breakout is continuing. The importance in trillions of dollars to enter the
like, dude, this guy's talking about BlackRock
cryptocurrency $5,000 target. And of course, I did enter my trade on the lower side around $58,000. Of course, I've mentioned in many videos before, I do think there's a very big possibility Bitcoin is still going to come down lower.
See, there you go. He actually said it. He actually said he thinks we're going lower. So this guy gets a thumbs up.
Maybe it's still going to fill up my orders on the $47,000 level.
See that? So this guy's good. This guy actually says what he thinks.
Level, but will still happen in October.
But you see how you can skip through the video and still gather information? That's a good video. If you can skip through it and still get information from it. If you have to sit and watch the whole thing, it's no like
Drum set the same here.
You can skip the whole 2 minutes of this.
Is going to come down against entry on see that it is still very similar towards 2020 going to be happening right now over here. But personally, if I look at Bitcoin and the price action which we're currently creating, I do think that July is going to be a bullish month for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is going to see a further continuation towards the upside. Of course, we are currently in exactly like over here. People were extremely worried, and that marked the bottom. Of course, it will never exactly mark the bottom, but it does tell you approximately where Bitcoin will be bottoming. And again, right now, most of the traders in the market right now are extremely fearful. While at the same time, we've never seen so much wallets being in a loss here.
Oh yeah, we already went over this though. These guys are leaving out an important fact. But this guy is saying that we're bearish, which is good. People keep leaving out this important fact that a lot of people buy in when we break the all-time high. That's why the fact that we're already below the prior all-time high, as you can see here, is why there's so many coins in loss already. Because think about it, guys. This is reality, okay? I'm spitting some heat. I'm spitting some mother bleeping heat right now. Look at how much time we spend at the prior all-time high. That means all of these people bought in at the prior all-time high. If you go back historically, look at how much time you had to buy in here. You had like not even 3 weeks, and then we went straight up. Look at how much time you had right here. You had January to May. So 3 to 4 months. And then we went straight up. And all of these people who bought in here, they never went into loss. It's impossible. All of these people who bought in here, they only went into loss by the end of the bear market. All of these people who bought in for months, they're already in loss, and we're only down 50%. That's why there's so many coins in loss already, because the top is getting smaller. The tops are getting closer together. I cannot stress this enough. It's the truth, man. That's why there's so many coins in loss. Because everybody not everybody, it's just an exaggeration, but a lot of people buy when the all-time high breaks. But because we're already below the prior all-time high, it's already bearish. So all of these people that are saying this is the bottom because of that, they either don't care that the diminishing returns are in play, or they don't believe that it's going to matter, and they just think the bottom is in. Which maybe they're right. I'm not going to say that I'm the ruler and they're wrong. I just disagree with the data because they're not interpreting it fully. And with that case made, you're telling me that by default, this bull run is going to be significantly smaller than the last one. And the next bear market is going to be less than 50% because the bear markets are getting smaller. But you can't tell me that we're going to go from 84% to 77 to 55. That means we're going to have a drop off to like 30. And that's not you're telling me it's going to take 4 years to go up, and then yeah, I don't buy it, dude. It's not happening. Because then look, then again, the profit and loss is going to spike again. Just going down back to 100,000 or 120,000. I disagree, man. I think personally, it makes more sense to have another steep bear market, maybe like 68%. Then you have a smaller bull market to like 300%. And then you have a smaller bear market again to like 57, 58, something like this. This makes more sense to me. Right? That's what I think. That's what I think. So there's a lot of bears and there's a lot of bulls. But one thing is for sure, not everybody is bearish and not everybody is bullish. That's what I think, man. And I'm not even saying that I'm right. I feel like people are not interpreting everything the way that they should. And the reason why they don't have to is because these guys are all rich already. These guys all bought Cardano at 5 cents. And that's not their fault. That's my fault for not buying Cardano. But they're sleeping at the wheel. That's why you got to give respect to Ben Cowan, man. This guy is definitely a multimillionaire. And he's still going. Maybe he's greedy. maybe he's greedy. Behind the devious smile, he's greedy. And he wants to be number one. I think that's what makes him go. He wants to be number one. You know why I think that? Because if someone has 2 followers and they say something mean to him, he replies to them. I think he wants to be the number one guy, so he's still going. But you got to respect that he's giving you full-blown information, and he's already a multi-millionaire. If I ever become a millionaire, I'm leaving. There's no way. Look at him go. Shout out to Ben Cowan, man. He's #1 now. He's the #1 guy. You think 60K in 2029? That's ridiculous. No, it's actually 2030. I didn't have it drawn correctly. If the cycle is going to repeat, well, we're not going to 300,000, that's for sure. I think we would get 60K. The next, if this bear market bottom is really going to be 40K, then the next bear market bottom should be, yeah, like 7. Yeah, I do. I think it's going to be like 60 or 70K. Excuse me. I would say the next bottom is probably 65K. That's what I think. And before you guys say, why did I ban that guy? He made a new account. That was his first message. I already know who that is. If somebody comments for the first time and it's negative, you already know they're a troll. He never commented on my live stream before, but somehow he knows what I said. That means that he's a troll and he's been banned multiple times. Thanks for playing. Now we have to wait for his other 3 accounts to come in. High or low for 5 says Ben Cowan's DCA below 200 week. And when you look back on this cycle from the future, you're going to realize it's all you had to do. Yes, I appreciate the 5. I know you said that before, but I played it smart because I know you want to be right. So you'd send a super chat to get my attention. So I appreciate the 5. Here's what you're leaving out, my friend. If you watch Ben Cowan, he says, I bought at the end of June and I got wrecked. But I ended up doing okay. So if he got wrecked, that means that there's a chance he's going to get wrecked again. Now, here's the problem with Ben Cowan's strategy. The returns are getting smaller. So if we're projected to get a 300% gain from the bottom, and you're buying in now, you're only going to get 160%. Which, if you're a multimillionaire, that's not a problem, but I'm not a multimillionaire. But if I want 163%, I'll just buy stocks. Why would I wait 4 years for 160% gain when there's stocks that do that in a month? You can go back to any market cycle. You could buy this stock at any time and outperform. So there's no mathematical reason for me to buy Bitcoin. If you disagree with diminishing returns, then that's okay. You're disagreeing with the data. But even if I went 5 toes in, like you're saying, I'm going to have to wait 4 years to get my money up to 168%. But I can buy a leveraged ETF and get it in 3 to 5 months. You understand my point? So if you disagree with that, that's fine. That means you're disagreeing with the fact that the diminishing returns is real, and you're denying the 4-year cycle, which I'm not telling you that you're wrong. You could be right. But I'm telling you that every time I faded it, I lost money. So because that's happened to me every time, right? This was the bottom. This was the bottom. Wherever you're saying to DCA, you're ignoring the possibility that this could happen. And you could be saying that I'm ignoring the possibility that this could happen, but I have a reason to do so because there's many, many metrics that say the bottom is not in and the bottom is not close. If you want to argue the 200-week moving average is where you DCA, I would say, okay, I get it. The problem is what used to be the bottom was no longer the bottom, which means there's a chance that we actually fall lower this time below the 200-week moving average because we're not respecting it anymore. It held in 2018, so buying at the 200-week moving average is fine. It didn't hold in 2022, but buying near it was okay. The problem is it's getting weaker, which means there's an increased probability that we're going to fall below it much further using the information that we have. Also worth noting that in 2022, when we were below the 200-week moving average, we had a negative nupul. We don't have that right now. So you're basically betting that the nupul is irrelevant. Which again, I'm not saying that you're wrong. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's different this time. But what I'm saying is the only mathematical possible way for this to turn red is for Bitcoin to go below 53,000. And I'm not buying at 62,000 if I think it's going below 53,000. At 53,000, if I were going to DCA, that's where I would quote unquote dip my toe. But we have evidence to suggest that the bottom is going to be much lower than 53,000. If you disagree, that's totally fine. But the difference between now and the past is I'm only using on-chain information. I'm not giving my opinion saying, oh, well, I think we could go here. I think we could go there. I'm strictly relying on what has always worked. And so far, it's not perfect, but it's not wrong. So I don't personally, even if the billionaire told me to buy Bitcoin right now, I can't. Because the data that's presented to me says the returns are shrinking. And if the return from the bottom is 650%, then you're arguing the bottom is in now and you're only going to get a 300% gain. But if you're arguing that the bottom is in now, then you're arguing that the 4-year cycle doesn't exist, which I already learned my lesson not to do that. Because if the 4-year cycle didn't exist, then why was this the top? It's like a rhetorical question. I'm not directing it at one person. So I cannot make you guys bearish. I cannot make you guys bullish. I can only present to you information and you do with it whatever you want. Some people will remain bullish all the way down. Some people will never turn bullish. I've learned that if you get bullish close enough to the bottom, you're okay. But I don't have enough evidence to say that we're close enough to the bottom. Because the propaganda is, well, the RSI is oversold, so the bottom is in. I literally said the same thing at the top. I said the RSI is overbought, but this was not the top. This was not the top either. So why is this and this the bottom if this and this wasn't the top? Because that's what happened last time? You didn't have 3 tops last time. You only had 2. We had 3 this time. So maybe there's a third one on the bottom. I'm not saying I'm going to be right. I'm just saying I'm not putting my money in when I don't see a reason to. Especially when we're getting sell signals on the or not on the S&P, but on Nvidia. And I see the price of oil falling, which has always corresponded. Let me put it to you this way, chat. Every single time Bitcoin was about to go down to the negative nupul, the price of oil does what it just did. It did. That's a true statement. If you look at when Bitcoin goes down to the negative nupul, right before actually, oil does what it just did. So there's just no way I'm turning bullish here. It's impossible. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not saying that I'm going to be right, and I'm not saying you guys need to listen to me, but I'm not going to give you false information. I appreciate the 5 from Mr. High or Low. DCA guarantees you a piece of the bottom. Your strategy can possibly miss the bottom altogether. You're wrong. You're wrong. If I DCA when the nupul is red, I'm not going to miss the bottom. it's fair to say that I never did that in the past, but I wasn't as experienced as I am now. If you're going to tell me that you're going to DCA when the new pool is red, I would agree with you. I would say yes. Historically, when you're DCAing and the new pool is red, you might not get the exact bottom, but you're getting close enough to the bottom. I'm not DCAing when the new pool is hanging in midair like a roller coaster getting ready to free fall down to the bottom. But I'm also not a millionaire. So if you're a millionaire and you're okay with a 2x, then I'm not going to argue with you because you're guaranteed to get a 2x. Bitcoin is guaranteed to double from here. But I'm not waiting 4 years to double my net worth. That's ridiculous. And people who disagree with that, you're disagreeing with the information. It's not my opinion. My opinion isn't Bitcoin is getting smaller bull runs. The fact is Bitcoin is shrinking. So I'm not going to wait 4 years to get a 2x. It's not happening. There's just no way. You're saying if the new pool turns red. Right. So if I walk outside and I get shot in the face, I'm not going to make it. But what's the historical reference points of me getting shot in the face? There's none. Every single bear market, we turn negative. So if you're telling me if it turns negative, you're telling me that it's never happened before. That's the problem. And you'd have an argument if we were going up, but we're getting closer and closer every single month. So at this stage of the game, I'm not going to put my money in because there's a bunch of YouTubers telling me the bottom is in when it doesn't. There's no evidence that it is, that there is a bottom. At least in my opinion. We already talked about the supply and profit, and I made my case. But if you guys are bullish and you want to be bullish, I'm not trying to stop you. I'm just trying to prepare for the market bottom. Does that make sense? This time we had a new all-time high in a high rate environment, so I don't think we have. Vegeta for 2 says your analysis is ignoring interest rates, NFA. I appreciate the 2. Yes, this is actually what I needed. Your success depends on the new pool turning red. Mine doesn't. Yeah, so now you're making it personal. Which is fine. That's a good sign. I need you to be bullish the higher we go. I wasn't gonna say it, but I'm actually relying on you to stay here as we go higher. And I was gonna wait for you to say you should have bought in, but that was gonna be one of my top signals. But I didn't want to say it. But you know, at the end of the day, I hope you make as much money as you can, and I wish you the best, man. Vegeta for 2 says your analysis is ignoring interest rates. I'm not sure how to respond to that. What do you mean by that? Unfortunately, there's not that much information to run off of. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by that. The interest rates went up in 2017 and we were bullish. The interest rates went up in 2018 and we were bearish. I'm not sure how to respond to that. I'm getting nervous, dude. You guys are getting way too bullish, and I'm getting nervous that we're not going to go up now. Stop being so bullish. Just let it go up. We're at 62K, and you guys are going crazy again. Just stop. Let's let it go up. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we get this relief rally. We're not supposed to be having these kind of conversations until we're at 70K, not 62K. I'm getting nervous. But I appreciate the 2. I'm not sure how you want me to respond. I'm not taking into consideration interest rates. But I appreciate the 2 from Vegeta, and I appreciate the 5 from Higher Lows. Permabears are saying the bottom is in. No, I mean, listen, you'll always have that. I just can't see it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But the fact that we have our Moonboy chart and the Moonboy chart says we're bullish and now we're bullish, like, I have to trust it. Every time I've ever faded the Moonboy chart, I got wrecked. Every single time I faded the Moonboy chart, I got wrecked. Literally. I even faded my own prediction. That's my biggest regret. It's fading my own chart. My own chart said get out Q1 of 2025. And I had all my money in January. All I had to do was go into cash. And my greed said no. And I faded it, and now we're bearish. Or I lost all the money. We said back here, we're going to go to the moon. We went to the moon. Now it's saying we're going up, but because it's a 4-year cycle, we should go back down. Every time I've ever faded the Moonboy chart, I got wrecked. So I'm not fading it this time. The Moonboy chart says we should go up. If we go down, that's okay. But if we go up, I'm going to know that once August passes, it's death. And if we go down and it does exactly what it should do, we're free. So if you guys want to be bullish and we go to the moon from here, that's fine. I can't say anything. Maybe we go to the moon. But all information says we don't. But my information says we should go up from here. So if we go down, then the Moonboy chart was wrong, which is fine. I'll accept it. But if it's right, we should go up and then crash afterwards. Which, if that happens, you're going to get so many people turning bullish, which is what makes it bearish. It's not bearish because everyone's bullish. It's bearish because we're in the middle of a 4-year cycle and everyone is bullish, saying the 4-year cycle can't repeat when it's been happening for 20 years. That's what's gnarly to me. Bitcoin is not a young asset anymore. Bitcoin came out, what, 15 years ago? 16 years ago. Actually, it came out in July. Nobody ever pointed that out. July was bullish here, too. So, I have to stick to the Moonboy chart. I even faded it back here, man. Like, I was like to myself, dude, we're going to crash. And it said get out, but I said no. We need to go down again. And we went up. And that's why people saying we need to go down again when this is saying we should go up. We should go up. But after it passes, I have no reason to be bullish, which is why I'm going to turn super bearish. I'm going to be mega bear. And the fact that we can skim through YouTube and see how many people are actually bullish makes me think, yeah, you know what? We could get that big ass trap. But when we get up here, or if we get up here, we're going to need the YouTube chat to say shit like they're saying today. Because when we were down here and I ran the poll, 70% said we're going to 53K before 65K. Or maybe it was 70K, one or the other. And then we reversed higher. So I don't want you guys being toxic bulls because I need you to hold off on that until we get up here. Then when people say you should have bought in, you should have done a blah, 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 straight down. That's what happened here too. How could we be bearish? Super cycle, straight down. How could we be bearish? The Russell's at a new all-time high, straight down. You guys are making me nervous that it's happening right now. I need it to go higher. Higher lows 4-2 says, to be clear, my prediction is a 48K bottom. I appreciate the 2. Higher low again for 2 says, I will still be buying with 7 toes at 48K. I appreciate the 2. Yeah, I don't think 48K is that bad of an entry. Like, if you told me that I have to go all in at 48K or I don't go all, or I don't get in, I would get in at 48K because it's low enough, it's close enough to the bottom. But even like for me, 48K to 150K is only 200% gain. Which if you're a millionaire, that's fine. You go from $1 million to 2.5 million. But you can get that same return, believe it or not, with the QQQ now. That's why Bitcoin sucks. You could take that same million and put it into the QQQ, and you don't have to worry about a 90% drawdown or a 70% drawdown. The NASDAQ is now the superior asset to Bitcoin. Unless you're buying Bitcoin itself, sorry. Unless you're buying the bear market bottom for Bitcoin, the QQQ is the better asset. $103 people watching. Isn't this a little higher than usual? No, we've been getting 100 viewers consistently. I've streamed every single day. That's why more people are showing up. But I'm going to have to make the argument that when we get up here, it's probably going to be like what happened here, because I don't want to be a part of this. I'm not going to be a part of the carnage. So the day I stop streaming, you're probably close to the top. But we've been pretty good at calling, not calling the top, but pointing out top signals. That I will say. This has definitely been the most successful stretch we've had, you know? Where it's like, we're not falling for any bull traps. We know the bottom's not in. Right? A lot of people said this was the bottom, not the bottom. A lot of people said, even here, people said I'm too bearish. They said the bottom is in, you're too bearish, you're wrong. And then we made another low. So it's like, those people, like that guy that just came back today that I just banned, he came back because we're going up. When we go up for real, a lot of people are going to come back. And when they come back, that's the top. That's why I don't want people coming back yet, because I need them to not come back until we get up there. Because they came back here and they came back here. But I appreciate the 4 from higher low. I think 48K to DCA is not a terrible spot. But I'm not buying Bitcoin, so. Because my thing is, look at it this way. If Bitcoin's at 48K, then MSTR is probably going to be at $50. But Vegeta, I'm not sure I understand your point with the rate hikes. Oh my God, it's already 1 o'clock. Yeah, I'm not sure I understand your point with the rate hikes. I appreciate the 2 though. What are you getting at? You're saying my analysis is not taking into consideration the rate hikes. 50% of the time it goes up. What am I supposed to be looking at? The rate cuts? I'm not sure. Rate cuts went down here, we crashed and then went up. Rates went down here. We went up and then went down. So I'm not sure what we're looking at. But I didn't realize it was 1 o'clock already. Well, we had a great stream today, man. We got a lot of chat revenue. Appreciate all the super chats and the support, man. Great day today. No hard feelings. High or low is pushing my buttons. But he sends me super chats, so he can say whatever he wants. I don't take it personally. High or low for 2 says, how did my 82 MSTR do? I may take profit. Well, if I'm being honest, I'm a little bit biased to the upside. I think we could get a relief rally. I can't say that I know for certain. I'm going to explain why I don't know for certain. Ready? Because if we're doing what I think we're doing, MSTR actually shows weakness. So you see how in January there was a relief rally, but MSTR made a lower high. And then you see how in October there was a relief rally, but MSTR made a lower high. I can't say that I know for certain what MSTR is going to do. But I have to argue that because we just had a large leg down, you should get a decent retracement before the next move down. If Bitcoin does get back to 70K, I would be shocked if MSTR doesn't go higher. So you'd have to take the gamble. I think realistically, you could come up to 115. You might even be 115 this month. But I think the rally ends in August. So wherever it gets by the end of the month, that's the top, in my opinion. So if you just wake up one day and it shoots up to 127, that's probably the top. The closer we get to the middle of July or like late July. But it's up to you because I can't say that I know for certain. You had a lower high here and Bitcoin made a higher high. You had a lower high here. Yeah, you had a lower high here and Bitcoin made a higher high. So I can't say I know for sure, but I would like to think that there's a little bit more room to go. So MSTR should go a little bit higher. So maybe like 120. If I was being technical, I'm not a TA guy, but if I were, I would say 114, 115. Since you like to DCA, you could DCA out. You could DCA out at 115 and 126. Because worst case scenario, even if that is the bottom, it's still going to come back down again. So you'll get a second chance. Not financial advice. Well, we got to get this relief rally, man. We got to get this relief rally. We got to get this rally. I'm thinking at least the 382, which is 66K. That could be it. Maybe we get to the 618. That would be nice. All right, gentlemen. Good stream today. Thank you for keeping the lights on another day. What's tomorrow, the 4th of July? I don't know. I've been streaming every day. I'm afraid that if I stop streaming, I'm going to kill my discipline. I've got some red hot momentum right now. I don't want to end it. I guess I'll stream tomorrow. Why not? We'll be back tomorrow. Appreciate the super chats and the support. As always, none of this is financial advice. Stay safe. We'll be back tomorrow. Take care, and I'll see you soon.